Phacoemulsification of the very dense nucleus presents a challenge for even the most experienced of phacosurgeons. In this video, I'd like to discuss the specific issues associated with the rock-hard nucleus and then to present a step-by-step guide for the clinical management of this challenge.
The first step in the procedure is, of course, the creation of the incision. I believe that it's wise to perform a scleral rather than a corneal incision in these cases of very dense nuclei. This will allow you to convert to an ECCE should the need arise. Visualization of the anterior capsule is invariably a problem with these very dense nuclei. And of course, the use of trypan blue is enormously helpful. This allows you to perform capsulorhexis with a great deal more safety. The increased visualization is really absolutely essential in these cases. We've filled the anterior chamber with a highly protective dispersive OVD, such as Viscoat, which is needed in these cases to help prevent endothelial injury. Phacoemulsification of a really dense nucleus, of course, requires longer phaco times and higher energy levels. So you want a dispersive material that can coat the endothelium and protect it. Here we see the capsulorhexis being performed with the rock-hard nucleus. You want to make a slightly larger capsulorhexis. This will help you to bring the disassembled nucleus into the anterior chamber. It's important with hydrodissection to avoid capsular block during the procedure, since posterior capsules are very fragile in these cases and can be easily broken with increased pressure. Special care must be taken throughout these cases to avoid wound burns. The dense material can easily clog the phaco tip and result in excessive heating, which can cause injury to the cornea very quickly. One must watch carefully to be certain that there is good outflow through the tip, the phaco tip, at all times. Chopping of the very dense nucleus can be difficult initially because of the leathery nature of the nucleus. I found it more efficient to perform a divide and conquer initially, carrying the deep grooves until you get a good fundus reflex, and then performing the first clean cracks posteriorly. If you can get a good clean crack posteriorly, you then will be able to free up each of these quadrants. And this is an enormous help in performing these cases. We then use the chopping techniques to disassemble these large quadrants of material. Again, care is taken to keep the nuclear material within the pupillary plane so you can protect the endothelium. Toward the end of the phaco, it's very helpful to use a dispersive viscoelastic material to create a buffer between the posterior capsule and the nucleus. This is maybe the most difficult and risky point in the procedure, because the capsule will tend to fly forward. It's also helpful to go into phaco 3 or the epinuclear mode, as this helps to maintain the chamber. As you begin to finish the phaco and as you do the cortical aspiration, make sure to watch for any lost chips. These chips can easily become hidden within the anterior chamber or in the incision or the iris. And finally, just be prepared for everything. The capsule and supporting structures of these cataracts are very fragile. Make sure that you have capsular tension rings and capsular hooks available should the need arise.